Good morning, people. This is David J. Price, and I'm here with
Bernardo Ansel.
You are listening to the Lottery of Life podcast,
where we go into depth on how men across the world can improve their lives through the three main areas of life,
which are finances, personal development, and overall general fitness. So if you're ready to go on a journey to mental improvement, then relax and have a seat, because you are at the right place. Welcome to episode 8 of the Lottery of Life podcast. If you're a returning listener, then welcome back. But if it's your first time, my name is David Price, here with
Bernardo Ansel.
And here at the Lottery of Life, y'all know we start every single episode with a quote or a motivational piece. But today we're going to switch things up because I got a quote that I wanted to share with you, right? This came from Benjamin Franklin. Never leave till tomorrow that which can be done today.
Wow, man, that was a deep quote, man. I actually like that quote. You know, to be honest, you want to know what's crazy, man? I still have not paid my water bill, man. I was supposed to pay it a long time ago. I kept on saying, like, I'm going to pay it tomorrow.
And you keep playing, and
I'm
tomorrow
still playing it.
Cut that water on it and it ain't going to come out. So you better pay that thing. But nah, for real, though, I think that's an interesting quote because a lot of times, you know, just like with that water bill, like, my thing is, I do that shit with my phone bill because it's so minuscule.
Oh, so that's why every time I call it, you go straight to voicemail?
Nah,
or maybe it's because I'm blocked.
Nah, man, but the thing about it is, like, it's something that's so simple and it could simply be done. Like,
exactly.
My phone bill probably one of my cheapest bills, and I easily...
How much is your phone bill, to be honest?
Actually, I hit a lick on AT&T, right? And I switched up on them because I was paying like almost $95, really $95 a month for my AT&T service, right? Just my phone bill. And then I was with Xfinity, and then I had caught this promotion when I upgraded my Xfinity. It was like, well, just add your phone, you could save $20. So anyway, I ended up switching to Xfinity, and I only pay $45, bro. $45 a month for my mobile service.
Yo.
And I dropped my Wi-Fi bill by $20. So that's just a little...
I'm not going to lie, bro. You getting finessed.
What?
Listen, let me tell you. Company loyalty, I don't feel like you really need to be loyal to any of these companies. Because at the end of the day, they want to make money. Because I remember one time, like, you got to catch them on a good promotion. Because I remember one time, like, the more lines you have, the better it is. So that's for one line.
Where?
Oh, just everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I think because I got my whole family on one plan, because I remember AT&T told me, it was like, hey, how about you transfer over from T-Mobile to AT&T? And I'm like, okay, why would I do that? And then, you know, they started giving us like, well, we have a promotion. You have a total of how many people, how many lines? I was like, I got a total of 5 lines. They was like, okay, if you get the internet and you get the your phone service, we'll give you a year's worth of phone service for free.
Okay, that's only for 1 year though. What is gonna happen after that year, so how much you gonna pay?
Bro, I'm saying,
you gonna slide on that?
I'm sliding. What you mean?
Yeah.
They got the internet but the thing about it is what I'm trying to like push, like, it's good to negotiate. Cause I don't know if you go to other countries, anywhere else they do business, they negotiate. Matter of fact, wealthy people, they negotiate everything.
Man, listen, I sell cars full of... You think I didn't negotiate that, man, on the phone? Listen, I told you, I went from paying $100, I think it was like $104 or something. Like, after taxes, it came into like $103 for my Wi-Fi service separately, right? That was for like, I can't use the exact numbers right now because I remember, but it probably was like, let's say for 750 gigs worth of internet speed, right? I got some shit now, nigga. I'm upgraded to like 1200 gigabyte speed, and I pay $60 for it, bro. I saved $40 and got way more speed and service, and I got my phone on there for $45 when I was paying $95 at AT&T. So I'm saving like $100 off rip now.
Exactly.
And I was on the phone with him for 20 minutes. I had to remind him of a promotion. I was like, wait, I read on the thing you sent me, because at first I was just upgrading my service. I was like, wait, I read here that if I have my phone service added, and it's supposed to be an extra $20 off, and then I just get phone service, so how come you ain't tell me that? Like, it's like, oh, I did forget that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So
nah, you gotta definitely keep pushing it, because think about it, 20 minutes, like, what? Let's say if you saved $100 from your previous, you just made $1,200 if you keep that for a year. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, bruh, you just made $1,200 in 20 minutes. That's how you gotta look at it, man. You gotta play
it's the little
game,
plays.
man.
It's the
little plays, man, and that's what's really gonna push you forward, man. But let's get back to this quote. So, like, what are some things that you feel like can really, like, cause like I kind of say, I remember before, Like when we really first started this podcast was an hour long, man. Yeah. I don't know. Did we drop it? We dropped a couple hour long videos.
Yeah. Probably like the first two or three.
Yeah. But we had to scratch that, so we got it down to 30 minutes. I remember one of the things you were saying is like, nah, bro, we're not gonna be able to talk what everything that we want to say. We're not really gonna do it in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was another quote that's similar to this quote somebody had told me. It was like, you use as much time as you have.
Right.
So if kind of like with school, because like if I give you 2 weeks to do an assignment, you're not gonna start it until like the later on that week.
Right.
So like so what I'm trying to say is
basically like when whatever we have, we only can use like the resources that we have, right? So if you give me 2 weeks to do it, yeah, I'm most likely not gonna start until the last week. But I could get it done if I use the whole 2 weeks properly, right? Same thing, the amount of work or effort that I put in to get it done in that 2 week span, if you give me 1 week to do it, just to start off, I'm still going to apply that same amount of work and effort in that 1 week. I'm just going to have to do it at different points of time throughout my week.
But to be honest, like, really, you could do it in 1 day.
Believe
it or not. Like, or you could do it in 12 hours. If I gave you something like, you're going to, because the thing about it is, I remember what the person told me was like, yeah, if I give you something to do, and I told you, hey, I need it done by today, you're gonna complain for about a good 4. If you have 12 hours to do it, you're gonna complain for about 4 hours, be like, man, this man is crazy, like F him, this and that, and then eventually you're gonna get to it. Instead of wasting those 4 hours, you should have just got right to it. You gotta see what I'm saying? So like, that's why I'm trying to like really implement. I'm trying to stop complaining and just get to it. Like, stop holding things off and just say, hey man, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Cause eventually my water gonna get cut off.
Right, just like my phone eventually get cut off. Okay. Ain't nothing worse than getting that little text like, oh, your bill passed due. And I'm like, bro, I know I done paid this shit, but I never did because I kept putting it off. But I mean, that applies to a lot of things in life. Like you just continue to put it off, and then those consequences of putting that thing off are just gonna come to a screeching halt. It's gonna bring you to a screeching halt because you're like, oh shit, since I never did this. Like for example, sometimes when I ride, knowing I need to stop for gas, I be in such a rush. I be in such a rush to get to where I'm going. Literally, like if I'm just going from here to work or from work to home, like man, I just need to get home. Got no X, Y, Z. Next morning I get up going to work. Like man, I gotta get out. You
gotta do
work.
It anyways.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying. And then it hinders me because I be trying to rush to get home or rush to get to work to not be late or get home so I can do something. But now my shit flashing like I'm about to run out of gas. So now I gotta stop and get some gas, and now I'm late anyway when I should have just did it when I had.
You want to know how I fixed that problem? Because I used to have that bad. I used to have that problem bad. You want to know how I fixed it?
What?
I ran out of gas. And then you know how long? I ran out of gas on the interstate, and you know how much of a headache it was to walk to a gas station.
Oh my
and then the thing about it is,
you was one of those. Bro, every time I'm driving past somebody on the highway and I see them walking, I just feel bad. I just feel bad because you walking at least a mile to get off that damn. Unless you right there on the ramp, and even the ramp's long as hell.
Bro, nah, it was crazy. Like I called an Uber, and then the thing it was so much. It was so expensive because I think the Uber was $7, and then I didn't have a gas jug, right?
Had to buy that.
Man, the gas station, bro, they're gonna bust your head
as soon
for
as
the gas.
When it's right off the highway, when yeah, it's right.
Because they already know. Like the reason you're buying this gas jug is because you ran out of gas. It's gonna be, bro. The convenience is expensive. Let me just say that. Right. So I think what they charged me, it was like a small gallon, bro. They charged me $20, bro. Like I could only put like not just 1 gallon on there, so I put like $3, and then I go, and then I call another Uber. Matter of fact, no, I told the Uber just wait here, so I'm gonna just pay you to take me back to my car.
Yeah.
Get the gas. Put the gas in the car, and I went there and I just filled up the tank. You know how much time that way? I wasted legit 2 hours.
That's a lot of time. Yeah, because you kept putting it off, and then it came
just to save 15, just to save 5 minutes. Right. Like, so that's why I'm like, nah, I'm not even finna do that no more. When I see I'm about to run out of gas, I'm either finna hit the next gas station or I'm just gonna say F it. And
if you wanna make sure you are on the right track to being successful, then you must just take responsibility and getting the things done that you know that you need to get done. 100%. Whether I wait to fucking put gas in my car or get it done as soon as I can, at the end of the day I'm still gonna need gas. So I just need to take that responsibility, to go ahead and put that gas in there, as you should go ahead and pay your phone bill. Your water bill. But outside of that, I know we really want to talk to people about how to properly communicate and just network with people, like whether it's a work environment, social environment, anything, even at home, dealing with your family, like that's a high skill set to have for anyone who wants to be successful. You agree?
Definitely, of course.
So why do you think it's? I mean, a lot of people say it's a famous quote in business where it's like people build businesses,
of course.
Relationships build businesses,
of course.
But why do you think that? Like, how does that make sense to you?
Because at the end of the day, who's going to be purchasing your product?
Yeah, but it's really deeper than that. Not even just who's going to be purchasing your product. Who's going to be helping you sell your product? Who's going to be marketing your product? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be reviewing your product? Everything always going to go back to people. Like, when you have these relationships and build these relationships and be able to network, that's how you open up different avenues for your own success. For example, me being like a personal trainer and having a gym, if I don't network with certain people at work, I never know that their goddamn baby mama auntie have a weight problem and she trying to lose some weight. But since I network with people at work and we have a conversation, then when we in a break room eating on our break, you know what I'm saying, they may mention, hey David, man, I was talking to my auntie, man, she's talking about she 20 pounds higher than what she wanted to be. You still got some slots at your gym? And then I'm gonna goddamn get that business right then and there, but that's because I already built that relationship with dude previously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gained so much just from networking with people. Like, that's why I say I'm a network king. Even, for example, like, we had this new dude. This is a real genuine story. We had this new dude who just started at Nissan probably a week ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in certain environments, it's like just when you out in the world, it's like a jungle for real. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta look out for the, you know, like look out for the predators, look out for the prey,
jungle,
shit like that. So like, but for some reason at work, or just people in general, sometimes if somebody new comes, they fear them, or not really fear them, but they're like, I don't really want to fuck with this person because this person could be eating off my plate. At least that's how it is in sales, bro. When you in sales, everything is like, it's wild, bro. So it's like, if you see somebody else here, you're not happy for this person being here because you're like, this is a potential somebody who could potentially take one of my customers. This is somebody who could take one of my ups one day. Mm-hmm. But I don't really have a mindset like that because I know I'm abundant. I know I'm going to sell anyway.
Yeah, so
I'm not really worried about him taking shit from me. So, you know, whatever is mine is mine. So when I see bruh over there just sitting there by himself, I'm like, well, at least let me go. I went over there to throw some shit away. It was right next to him. And I walked back to my desk. I'm like, well, let me at least go introduce myself to bruh. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to sit here and become a nigga best friend. But I just doubt, bruh. Like, hey, what's your name, bro? You new here? Yeah, XYZ. He gave me his name. And then I could just tell off his vibes and shit. I'm like, I always see everything as an opportunity. So I'm like, okay, he don't seem like a type of person who has a negative intention. So let me give a little more of my time here because I may be able to benefit something from it. It may be a value here. So I end up sitting down. We sat there and talked for like 30, 45 minutes about sales, about different tactics, about how to get people in off social media. Bruh really gave me game. Like bruh came from another dealership selling 28, 30 cars. I would never known this had I not walked up there and talked to bruh. This is his third dealership. He had sold at this other dealership and this other dealership, and he's seen a lot of success. And he gave me some gems, bro. Mm-hmm. And had I not spent that extra 2-3 minutes of effort talking to bruh, I never would have been able to increase my own capital, my human capital as far as the knowledge that I have for selling now. Because he gave me some closing tips. He gave me some marketing tips. All this shit that I could have paid for, like, but it's priceless, and I paid nothing.
Most definitely, man. That's real important. A lot of people don't know. You can learn a lot of stuff from regular people. Like, if you just take the time out to say, go talk to that person, or, you know, just say, hey, just introduce yourself, because that's usually how it starts. Just say, hey, my name is this, and my name is this and that. How's the weather today? Because, you know, like, especially like me at my job now, because, you know, I got me a job, man, you know, just for I got me a little job, you know, just to check it out, man, you know. But I kind of like being there because, you know, just every time I come in, I tell everybody, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Mm-hmm. And, you know, that changes the atmosphere for everybody. Even if everyone having a bad day, I come in there and say, hey, or like, I don't know they're having a bad day. I just come in and say, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? And, you know, just asking those questions right there, it changes
the reason
the atmosphere.
Like, yeah, like when you say change the atmosphere, it's because like it kind of shifts people's from having a guard up and a defense up to being open to having a conversation with you. You know, if you ask somebody, they can't tell you how they feeling unless you ask. So you present that to them and they say, you know, how you doing? How you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling good, bro. I just so happen to have give you a little story real quick. You entertain that story, and now you've also opened up your chance to say how you feeling back to them. And then once you do that, y'all may be able to kind of see some shit that y'all have in common, spark a whole nother conversation, and then you're building this bond with this person, based off of your first question, saying how you doing, how you feeling.
So, a book that I've been reading, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. That was one of the things that the book was really touching on. Just like little things like that, because people have a natural sense of wanting to like give back or give something, because asking somebody how are they feeling, just showing them that you care about how their day is going, like eventually they're going to want to find something, they're going to want to be of value to, they're going to want to give you something back, right. Because they're either their friendship or some type of knowledge, because and it's a reality, because I come in there like they'll just tell, even if it's something I don't want to know, they'll let me know, to say, hey, this and that. And then, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? This and that. Do you know this? Did you know that? And just little stuff. And I know eventually if I want to do something else, like, they'll give me like little tips, because these are older people. Like, they'll give me little tips. Man, I've been working this for this long. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And like, you're just gaining free knowledge and free networking, just anything.
It's really a value, bro. Like, because being that we're young, like I've been doing this for a while, like just being open, talking to people, like how you just explained stuff like that, bro. I realized that very, very young. So I'm being able to gain knowledge from everybody, almost everybody who I talk to and have a conversation with is older than me. I have conversations with my uncles, I have conversations with all the old heads at my job. Like, every job I had, I've been able to speak with somebody older than me and get some insight on life. Like, because these people just been here longer than you off rip. So they already, not even necessarily just at that job, but just on the earth. So, like, you can find out about a lot of hidden shit that you ain't gonna be able to find in a book or be able to find, goddamn, on a website or something, doing some research. It only could come from that person's their experience.
You can't be experienced.
Yeah. So I think it's a high value in that. And I think what I was saying, the reason why people want to give back is because people don't like being in debt. For real. People don't mentally. Yeah. You don't realize it, but shit, if you make my day, you giving me a certain amount of energy, you giving me like the opportunity to speak about my day, I'm naturally going to want to give that back to you, because I don't want to be in debt, just mentally. And it may not even be the word saying being in debt, because that's obviously something tied to a money aspect, but it's like it's kind of like
emotional debt. Yeah,
emotional. Like you want to give value back to somebody. Somebody give you value, you kind of feel like you don't deserve if you don't give it back to them.
It's kind of like if you're enjoying somebody's presence, you want them to also enjoy your presence as well. And another thing that the book touches on, and a lot of the people that were successful in their field, is they weren't the smartest, they weren't the hardest working, they weren't the most knowledgeable in their field, but they just knew how to manage people and bring people together for the best of their ability. One of the things that football taught me is that everyone has a job, and you can't succeed if everyone doesn't do their job. If you're the I don't know if you know, like in the NFL, the quarterbacks and the running backs, they buy the offensive linemen Rolexes, watches, and stuff like that. Why would you? And you're thinking like, why would I this and that? Like, he's supposed to do his job, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't do his job, if he doesn't want to block for you, when somebody likes you as a person and likes what you bring and like really likes you generally, he's gonna work to a different level or a different aspect. He's gonna push a little bit more. You're gonna get a little bit more out of him just because he likes you. He likes the person you are. He values you as a person.
So he's gonna translate to his effort on the field.
Exactly. He's gonna block with his life, and it also translate in the workplace. Like those managers and supervisors that are assholes to everybody, who yells at everybody all day, who's like, man, dude, you're always coming in late. Hey, this is your last. No, man. You gotta really change everything, because people necessarily don't like messing up, but you have to critique people without really critiquing them. So, like, if you're at a higher level, if you're like a supervisor or a manager, and the situation is is happening, you got to know like how to deal with it in a positive way. Like, really say, okay, man, so what's going on, man? You've been late 2-3 times. So is there a situation going on at home? Is there a situation going on with the family? How you been? How's everything? So now that person is open, say, you know what, man, I got this and that going on. You know, even if it's true or not, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I understand that. You know, what do you feel like it's a way that you can help change that, or that's gonna help you be on time more? Like, is it the bus situation? Do you think you could like come a little bit late, a little bit earlier to the bus, or whatever it is? And eventually, once you start building that relationship, that person is gonna want to be on time because they don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how parents, you know, like they say, like that disappointing your father is worse than getting whooped by your father. If that makes sense.
I never heard that.
Yeah, because you know how old folks be like, it's gonna hurt me to whoop you more than it's gonna hurt you. Kind of see what I'm saying? And eventually, yeah, man, it's just one of them things, man. It's like when somebody values you, they don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to get out of people. You don't want. That's when people are gonna like really like go over the edge, because that's Thomas Edison, Andre Carnegie, like all those guys, like they just learned how to bring people together and have them really work for them, like to a higher. They got their best efficiency out of them.
Yeah,
like kind of like Elon Musk. I don't know if you know, if you work in Tesla, like the bet, like if you're a manager, this and that, they don't want you to be an a-hole to the workers. Right. You kind of see what I'm saying? If they love working there, if you give them more, the company is gonna do better.
If you want to be a true leader, then that is the only way that you must operate. You only can, as far as being a leader, it's about how well you can get people to come together to achieve one common goal. Mm-hmm. There's a quote that I seen the other day. It's kind of vague in my mind right now, but I know it's something along the lines of, a man's true value is not what he can do for himself, but it's really basically how much he can do for others.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, and I think that's a great quote. But I mean, if you're going to be successful and have a team, then those are some qualities that you must have. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But even something else that's just as important, not just as important, but something that's important in the business world or success world. I know we was talking about this off screen. You say you had some tips about how to build your net worth, or what the difference is between your net worth.
Yeah, because you know, I don't know if this is still a thing. I know a lot of people think net worth is how much money you have in the bank. No, mm-hmm. Net worth is all of your assets combined minus your debts. So brings me to my point. You know how I'm.
Hold your thought. I want you to pick it up right there. But for some of the people out there, you know, who may not be, inclined enough to know what you say when you say assets, you know, just give a couple of examples of assets, because a lot of people don't even know what that really is, a true asset.
You know, assets are like things that are gonna bring you value,
exactly.
Like things that you like. If you have something, like everything technically can be an asset. There are good assets and bad assets. Good assets make you money. Like a business, houses can also be good assets. Sometimes cars, even people say cars could be like their liabilities and stuff like that. If you buy the right car, it can definitely go up in value. Other assets could be like, you know, your phone, a Rolex, a watch, anything like that. Eventually, like if you were to sell that, how much money would you would get something from it? It has value.
Right.
That's an easier way to say what an asset is. Something that has value. Mm-hmm. So, because you know, like people can be assets,
right.
But you can't.
The value isn't per se always a monetary thing. You know what I'm saying? The shoes that we wear are assets, because if we, instead of us walking on the ground and get something stuck in our foot, the value that the shoe brings is that it protects our foot. Yeah, so it's a simple asset, but it's just about your mind frame and how you look at things, because everything in life truly can be an asset. But continue what you were saying at first.
So, as far as all of your assets together, minus how much money you owe. So if everything that you own right now, if you were to say, F it, I'm about to sell everything, how much money you would have after you pay off all of your debts. So I remember one of the points I used to say, like nowadays, like a lot of people are fake rich. Mm-hmm. So if you don't own anything, technically your net worth is horrible, if that makes sense, because like if you wanted to look rich for social media, or you wanted to like really fake, you can go out there and lease a luxury car. The dealerships, you just own it for that moment. You're leasing it for 3 years. So let's say you lease a BMW i8, you paying like $800 a month. You pay the $800 a month for 3 years. Eventually, you give the car back. I mean, you got the car, but I mean, it didn't really help your net worth at all because technically, like, I don't want to say you were throwing money away, but I mean, technically, that's how I see it.
All the 800, every 800, the payment that you made went in the wind because you have nothing basically to show for. You have no asset.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you don't own anything, it's like, you kind of see what I'm saying? It's kind of like your value is kind of like, not your value, but it's like your net worth is like, it's kind of like non-existent. If you owe a lot of people money and you don't own anything, it's kind of, it's like your...
Every piece of money you make is basically getting sent out to the people that you owe. So what are some of the ideas or tips that you had to help people build their net worth?
So, a good way, you could build your net worth, you could also have a negative net worth, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you have if there's a plan in the future to get a positive net worth or even a higher net worth. I know that college education is very expensive, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people say invest in your education is an asset because eventually that knowledge that you've attained is going to be a benefit for you because you're going to get paid a lot more.
You can make all that money back.
And just like that. Mm-hmm. But, I feel like sometimes, how school is, you can overpay for that, but we're not on there right now. Yeah. But, so, investing in your education and then you borrow, let's say $100K. So now you're negative $100K and, let's say you have an ugly car, and then you just don't have anything, right? You got an ugly car, some clothes and everything like that, minus from $100K. Let's say you sell everything off. You got a negative $90K net worth. Mm-hmm. But eventually you go out there and, graduate, find a job, you start paying off that debt, and then now you're positive. Yeah. So education, knowledge is one way to increase your net worth. Another way, you could buy assets, like buy a nice house, like a good house.
Mm-hmm. You have to get it at a good price. So you got to get a good deal.
Definitely get it at a good deal. But sometimes, houses do go up, they do go down in value. So, you buy, hold on to the house. So let's say you buy a house for $250K and eventually you pay off the house and now your net worth, that contributes to your net worth. Now you own $150K property because at the end of the day, people are going to need some place to stay. Shelter is highly important. Yeah. That's really the reason why houses go up in value because at the end of the day, you can make more this and that, but you can't make more land.
That's true.
You can't make more land. So,
I think a good way to build your net worth is kind of what we were talking about with networking, and being able to talk to people because, another term used in the business world is your net worth is your network is your net worth. So even something as simple as like changing the people that you're around to where you hanging with people who have a higher net worth than you. That's going to help you build your net worth because you're going to become exposed to certain opportunities, certain ideas, and certain places, certain environments that you wouldn't have been able to be exposed to if you were by yourself or even if you were with people who have, a lower net worth or even the same net worth as you. Like, in order for you to raise your own value, you must raise the value of the people that you are around.
That's true because, they always say it's all about who you know, not what you know. Because if I know you, right? If I'm down bad, right, and then I'm hanging around you and you know me as a good person, you appreciate me, this and that, and you have ways to make more money, like, look, bro, here's a way you can make this type of, you can make $100K in a year. Here's how I did it. Mm-hmm. And then now you put me on, you give me all your connections. Eventually, just by knowing you, I just made $100K and you put me on and now I'm making $100K a year or this and that. And eventually, that's why it's always good to keep good company around you. That's why they say, it's not about what you know, it's all about who you know. But also, you got to know something too. Yeah. You got to know something too.
Of course, that's why it kind of goes back to what you said as far as investing in your own education. I heavily agree with that. I'm glad I got out of the aspect of thinking like, damn, I'm paying X, Y, and Z, to listen to this man or X, Y, and Z to learn this man's content, knowing I can go on YouTube and get this shit for free. You can get almost anything on YouTube.
I mean, that's what
But the thing about it, though, the thing about it is that when you get what you pay for. So if you get some shit for free or even at a low rate as opposed to paying something that has a high value, then even though it does have a high value, the cost is low because the amount of value that you're getting, I mean, based off of the price that you pay, the amount of value that you get off that price is way higher than how much it costs. You know, because like you said, the thing that I give you to in order for you to make $100K or whatever, let's just say hypothetically I charge you $500 for me to give you this game, and then I give you the game and you make $100,000 off of it. So the upside of what you spent is way higher than what you received at the end of the day. So if I give you this directly, as opposed to you going learning on YouTube, trying, failing, and then finally succeeding, you not only saved a great amount of money, but you also saved a great amount of time as well by just getting it directly from me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, not necessarily. I feel like, you know, YouTube University is a real, it's really legit, because I know one guy, he makes money off of editing, and so I'm like, bro, where you learn all this stuff? It's like, YouTube. I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. It was like, yeah, like, you just got, but the thing, you got to really put the time to really be down to learn it.
Yeah, you see how you said put in the time? So time
is also money.
Time is the currency though, not really money. Time is really the most important currency that you have. I could spend 8 hours a day learning something on YouTube, and that same 8 hours a day that I'm spending, let's say I end
cut it in half.
You dig what I'm saying?
Just giving you the top
points. And then I can be executing instead of still learning way quicker. So, of course, there's always upsides to either option.
Of course.
You know, anything is always a pro and a con to every situation. You just got to weigh them and apply them to whatever resonates with you in your current situation. And that's how you'll succeed, you know what I'm saying? But we are getting right at the end of that time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, as usual, we always appreciate every listener. You know, if you like the content that you hear, make sure you give us a like down below, or give us a, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to Apple Music, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you save the podcast. Make sure you cut on those notifications so you can see us dropping every week. And you know what I'm saying? We'll see y'all next week.